So hi people, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something very interesting. It's literally just giving you a recap of how our 2024 went. It was very daunting, it was a lot of work, but it was super duper successful. So if you want to have an idea of how much can possibly be made from having an Airbnb in Lagos, Nigeria, this is the video you need to watch. I will literally be telling you everything, spilling all the tea, letting you know what our numbers were doing last year, where we feel we could have done better, and then the plans that we have for 2025. See you in the video. That's what's up.
I'm good, man.
Well done. Okay, so we're going to put this into different categories, right? So that you guys can digest like bite-sized information. So I'm going to be talking about the house types that we have. So by that, I mean, is it a 1-bed? Is it a 2-bed? Is it a 3-bed? We'll talk about the location, the duration covered, the average rating that we have, our guest demography, the medium of booking as well, the average length of stay, the book nights, which is what you're definitely interested in, and then the percentages for each home. The total number of bookings, our overall occupancy rate, what guests love, what they didn't quite like. I would also talk about what our expenses were, because in as much as we're giving you percentages of revenue, we also need to tell you what percentage of our income went into expenses, and then the pricing throughout the year. So you have an idea of, okay, how much we charged throughout the year that's got us this level of occupancy. Okay, so we currently have 5 units. Obviously, we're in one of our units. So we have one bed and then 4 2-beds. All our apartments are located in Lekki Phase 1, literally in the heart of Admiralty. So the duration covered for this recap is from the 1st of January till the 31st of December of the year 2024. We had an average rating of 4.5 out of 5 on Google reviews and a 5 out of 5 on Airbnb because we're Casa Nomads. The demography was our local arrivals. So by local arrivals, I just wanted to be specific. We mean people that were traveling within Nigeria. So our local arrivals were at 90% of our bookings, while international arrivals, which were people that were coming from out of Nigeria, it doesn't matter whether it's Ghana, the US, the UK, we had about 10%. So the next is the medium of booking. So we have, the good thing about us is we do not underestimate any medium of booking. So we're literally everywhere. We're on WhatsApp, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Airbnb, which is something that I would advise you to do if you're trying to start a short-term rental. You need to literally be everywhere and anywhere. Our most popular medium of booking was probably WhatsApp. We also launched our websites this year, so we also had website bookings as well. So we had a few Airbnb bookings as well as Instagram DMs. So we're moving on to the average length of stay. Our average length of stay was 2 nights. So most of our guests were booking 2-night stays. Then the book nights. So the book nights across the 5 homes were, drum roll. Can I have a drum roll? 1,532 nights out of 1,823 nights. Can I get a wow? Wow. Yeah, so that means our average occupancy rate was at about 85%. Fantastic! So I want to break down our bookings per home because, like I had mentioned before, we have 1 1-bedroom apartment and then 4 2-bedroom apartments. So I would actually start from the least booked apartment. The least booked apartment was C5. It did 283 nights and that gave us a 77.3% occupancy. D4 did 285 nights, which gave us a 77.86% occupancy. Then there was C4, which did 301 nights, and that gave us an 82.24% occupancy. And D5, which is the one that we're in right now, did 308 nights, which gave us an 84.15% occupancy. And our star boy, because yeah, C2 is definitely a boy. Our star boy, which is our 1-bed, did 350 nights, which gave us a 95.62% occupancy. That home, like Imo said, it needs to rest because the demand for it is insane. Free advice: if you're going to go into short-term rental business in Lagos, just get yourself a nice, spacious one-bedroom apartment. You will kill it. So our overall occupancy rate was 85.43%. I mean, I must give myself a pat on the back. 6 years in this game, no joke. The next thing I'm going to talk about is what our guests love. They loved so many things, I'm not even gonna lie. The highlight was the ambience, because I mean, look at this place, right? The road network. We're literally, like I mentioned earlier, in the heart of Lekki Phase 1, so everything and anything is around you, which is perfect. They also loved our fully equipped kitchen. And finally, our response time. I had to give kudos to my team for that. They literally respond to guests' requests or demands or complaints or whatever in such a timely manner. It really doesn't matter what time of the day or night you're sending in a request. Somebody will definitely respond to you. So kudos to them on that. What guests did not quite like? I mean, I'll be honest, my business is not perfect, right? So I will tell you a couple of things that they didn't like. We had an air conditioning issue. So our ACs were not cooling to like the maximum. I mean, we've gotten that fixed now, glory be to God, but our ACs were not cooling to the maximum, so we had guests constantly complain about that. So it was a piping issue and all of that, but we have fixed all of that. And we had a bunch of issues with the facilities in here. So the elevators, the pool, even though we're literally on the facility manager's neck all the time, but you know, these are things that are beyond our control, but we try to fix them as timely as we can. I would also like to give context as to what we charged throughout the year, so you have an idea of how much you can possibly make. Throughout the year, we charged between 75,000 naira to 200,000 naira. Our prices increase based on demand, because you should be doing dynamic pricing when you have a short-term rental, as well as our expenses. Last year was when the whole tariff increase with the power happened, and we found ourselves paying ×4 of what we had budgeted. So things like that will obviously determine what your pricing structure will be. So just to give you like a vague idea of what we charge throughout the year, so you know what you can possibly charge if you're going to start your short-term rental. Then another thing that I also want to talk about is our expenses, right? Yes, we did rake in quite a lot of revenue, but our expenses were at about 60%. That is because there was a lot of refurbishing that we had to do. So we switched up our bathrooms. Obviously there's salaries, there's the power increase and all of that. So our expenses for last year was at about 60% of our income. It was quite high, very high, but I mean, we did quite a lot of upgrades in the home. So I can understand why that was really high. Okay, so sidebar. Another thing that happened in 2024 was we launched our consultation business, and we started towards like the end of the second quarter, early third quarter, and so far we've had about 5 consultations. So that is something that has raked in some revenue for us as well. If you're trying to start off an Airbnb in Lagos and you don't know how to start and you want to do numbers like us, you know who to call. So that's our 2024 wrapped up, 2024 in a nutshell. We look forward to what 2025 has to offer. Hopefully new homes in our portfolio. Hopefully you book that consultation because you need it. And yeah, see you in our next video. Bye.